Hey YouTube. It's been a while since I've uploaded to this channel, and I was thinking this morning about like why that is. And part of the reason is that when I film things on my GoPro on my like hiking chats, it breaks them up into 15-minute videos that I then have to piece together on my laptop, which is like apparently one step too much. But the reality is that consistency is something that I have a lot of troubles with, and I also like have no free time anymore since I have a very young baby that I spend most of my time watching. All that is to say that I think I'm going to start doing this. And what this is basically I started the timer, it's 15 minutes, and I am going to try to consistently stick myself in front of a camera just to talk for 15 minutes a day. What the purpose of this is, worst case scenario, best case scenario, the only real like sort of value that I feel like I'm definitely going to get out of this is that I will appreciate being able to look back at these daily vlogs, I guess is what it is, to see where I'm at, how I was feeling, what was going on, maybe to spur some memories of a time in my life, after this stage or season or whatever has passed. And in a perfect world, maybe I'll meet some people on the internet who are also in a similar stage in their life, because I have a serious lack of dad friends and parent friends right now. And it's so tough to make friends in this like sort of phase that I'm in. You'd think it would be easy because you're a new parent and you're taking the kid to all like baby things and you get to meet other new parents, but it's really not. And I think part of that is that like none of the new parents at these like baby, events that we go to, and we do go to quite a few of them, and I go to quite a few of them without my wife as well. Um, the people that you're meeting are also new parents, so no one really has time right now. And like maybe they don't have the same sort of like social needs as I do. As context, I grew up in Brooklyn, but we don't live there anymore. We moved, like an hour and a half away. We're in the Hudson Valley now. So I don't really have any like organic friends around here. I have no one I could just like hit up to see if they want to have a beer or like, whatever the thing is. And maybe these people have that, or maybe they also don't and they feel the same way, but it's kind of tough to bridge that gap with all of the sort of time constraints of having a baby. Maybe that'll change in a few years. I hope it does. I have a feeling that it will, like when the kids are older and people have more free time and school starts and stuff like that, I'd imagine it must change. Although at the same time, I think like we'll be older, so everyone's going to be just like even more ingrained in their existing sort of routine and social life. So maybe it'll be more difficult. Maybe they'll cancel each other out and it'll be as difficult, but in different ways. Anyway, I'm rambling a little bit, but I guess that's the point. I'm going to set a timer and I'm going to talk for 15 minutes every morning, at least on weekdays, during my son's first nap, probably, about whatever I feel like talking about. And there's a lot of sort of like, I put a lot of pressure on myself, on my other channel especially, to make sure that production value is high and to like cut out pauses and make sure I'm speaking articulately. And I'm not going to do that here. That's the whole point of this second channel, but somehow I still feel the same amount of pressure to like produce something that people want to watch. And even though I try to do that, in spite of myself and my own goals, like no one's watching it anyway, so I shouldn't really care. So my strategy is just to talk for 15 minutes every morning. So we've talked about so far today how hard it is to make friends and my sort of lack of social life, and how maybe like through these videos in a perfect and best case scenario, I'll connect with some people. Cuz like, I don't need necessarily people who are close by, but like having people to talk to is still important. And like it's not like I don't have friends. I have friends and I have family. But like I don't have a lot of parent friends. I don't have a lot of dad friends. And that's difficult. And like another part of that, I'm going to continue the rambling that I was doing earlier because I only got like halfway done. Another part of that is like being a dad is sort of like difficult. And I'm not trying to complain because like I know there's like so much that goes into being a mom. And I'm not trying to sort of compare the two at all, but a circumstance that I find myself in quite a bit is that I go to baby events. Like there's this weekly thing at our local library where you bring your babies, and it's run by this like doula slash sleep coach, I guess, a very nice woman. And all locals just show up and bring their babies there, and it's usually moms and then me. And like sometimes it's no one. Sometimes I'm the only one who shows up, which is kind of nice as well because I really like the lady who runs it and we just kind of chat and hang out with the baby. But when there are other people there, 9 times out of 10, it is a mom. And like there have been circumstances, and I've certainly ingratiated myself with like a few of them. And I'm not like passing judgment on any individual person here. But when there is a large group of moms and you show up and you're the like only dad there, this tone and sort of mood shifts a little bit. And like I guess there's an argument to be made that like I'm invading like a female space, you know, like this is but it's not a mom group. It's a group for babies, and babies have moms and dads, and I happen to be the one who watches our son during the day. So that's tough to navigate. And I don't like blame anyone for it, and I'm not really mad about it. It just is a thing that I perceive. And like there's certainly a chance that a lot of it is just existing in my head, but I think it's also equally probable that there is some level of sort of social like shift when a lone father shows up to a group of moms with their babies. And it's funny because like in the outside world, having a baby is the biggest sort of social cheat code that I've ever encountered. Because like, you know, as a man, like people don't really hold doors open for you, and people are generally not like nice to you for no reason, which is fine. I understand why. I get it. I don't expect people to be nice to me for no reason. But like me walking alone, you know, me like doing my thing, just walking alone, I'm not, people don't like cross the street or anything, but like people tend to not really like acknowledge me or to not necessarily be nice to me for no reason. You know, like a fucking cashier at a grocery store is not going to just be nice to me for no reason. I'm just a fucking guy. But when you have a baby, it's totally different. Like people smile at you on the street, like random like older women will just smile at me, and sometimes like older men. This is my favorite thing that ever happens too. Like this has happened 3 or 4 times. I'll be walking with my son who is very young. This has happened for the last like 6 months. And a random dad will come up to me. No kids, just like a random older guy will come up to me and be like, "This is a great time. Congratulations. Appreciate it. It goes too fast." And I love that. I love that so much. Just like an old dad just reaching through time and generations to just kind of fucking grab me on the shoulder and say that they see me. Like that is great. It's my favorite thing. But also like all the other stuff is nice too. People holding doors open for me and cashiers being just like unduly nice to me and everyone wanting to start a conversation, even if it always is a conversation about my son, that's fine. I'm happy to talk about him. Just the like social interaction and the general niceness that like you experience when you are a man walking around with a baby is completely different than if you're a man walking alone. So I've gotten used to that a little bit and I really love it. But then all of that goes away when you're a man in a group of moms, because now like they have children and they have husbands, so they've sort of been like immunized to the charm of like a father with a baby walking down the street, you know, like they're surrounded by this. They have babies of their own, like they're not susceptible to the like the charms of babies and dads with babies. So like it's a bit of just like a social shift and something new and something different to what I've been used to for the last year, you know. And it's okay. I'm not mad about it. I just wish that I had friends up here that I could drink with. And like there needs to be an acknowledgement that I'm not at a phase in my life where going and getting a beer after work is like a feasible thing that I could just do at the drop of a hat. So that's a part of it too. But like it would be nice to sort of like have that network anyway. And what if I had like a, you know, friend locally who had babies who also watched his babies, or like it could be a woman as well. Like I would be happy to be friends with a local mom, but the local moms, again, you know, there are mom groups, and I'm not in those, but like there is like it's kind of a different social world. It would be nice if I had a local dad friend who also watched his babies, who like would come over, bring his baby, and we'd both have a beer with our babies, you know, like that would be great. That would be so nice. And we could talk about what it's like being a dad and what it's like having a baby and being a new dad and all of this. So I don't know, things to aim for. I'm sure that once the boy starts like school, or like we start, you know, really sending him out to experience the world in earnest with like other parents and like larger scale events than the local library group once a week and the like nature group that I take him to once a week, that it'll become more feasible. And I'm looking forward to that. What else is going on right now? Look, if you're watching this and you know me, understand that this is basically a journal, so you're going to find some stuff out that you might not like expect or want to hear about. This is personal, I guess, is the point, and it's easier to share personal shit with like the impersonal sort of morass of YouTube broadly. But if you do know me, just understand what this is, and I'd appreciate it if like you don't need to come talk to me about it. I'm not asking for that. I have been trying to quit smoking weed all year. I've been trying to quit smoking weed for like 2 years now, and it keeps like working and then not working and working and then not working, which in effect means that it's not working. And I guess the longest period I've gone is like probably a couple months, and that was a couple months ago. And what I find is that like I won't smoke for a couple months or a month or a week or however long it is, and then there will be a circumstance in which I think to myself, okay, I haven't been doing it. I've kicked the habit, even though I know at this point that that's not true. It's still happening. I've kicked the habit so I can smoke this one time and it won't be that bad. And then I do, and invariably, like, the next day I do too. And then it starts to become earlier and earlier in the day, and then it starts to become multiple times a day, and then I'm stoned all the time. And, like, to give myself some amount of credit, right? I haven't purchased weed in 6 months, probably. I've been, like, I used to smoke an ounce a month. That was my sort of cadence. My guy would come every month, and I would buy an ounce of weed from him, split into 2 half ounces of different shit, usually a hybrid and an indica. And I have been on the same ounce for the last like 5 months, probably. So I've definitely been smoking a lot less. But it's really more the principle of like, am I able to control myself? Do I want, like, and what do I want at the end of the day? And every time that I sort of try to evaluate this and I think to myself, like, what do you really want? What is the point of quitting weed? Like, do you really want this? It's hard to discern whether I'm actually getting to the core of what I want, or whether every single like pro that I'm giving myself is just like cope or like addictive like personality traits or whatever it is. So for instance, like one of the things that I know I don't want to smoke weed for is the munchies. Like I go to the gym quite a bit. Obviously you can't tell. But like I take my fitness very seriously, and I've been gaining like a little bit of weight lately. I know that I'm still like perfectly fine and I'm still pretty fit, but like there's a few parts that I would like to just, get a handle on a little bit. And the munchies just destroy that. I am so bad at resisting the munchies. And so like I'll tell myself, okay, like what if it's just the munchies that you don't want, but being stoned and getting stoned is kind of cool and you like that and that's good for you, or not good for you but not bad for you, whatever it is. You're enjoying that and there's nothing else wrong with it. Then if I could just stop going crazy and eating everything in sight every night when I'm done like smoking weed, then I could do it in peace, right? And I don't know whether that's true or not. I don't know whether that's true or not. And that trips me the fuck out. Like, I should know what I want, and I don't. Or maybe I do know that I don't want it, and I'm just trying to convince myself that I do because that's what addiction is, I guess. And I know, like, weed's not addictive, but I think there's been, like, a lot of research lately that has shown that it can bring out the same addictive behavior that, like, a physically addictive substance like cocaine or, like, heroin or, alcohol, whatever the fuck, could bring out. I certainly know that when I watch Intervention, which I love, or, like, stories on YouTube of people describing their addictions and how they got over them, that the patterns of behavior that they describe are, like, virtually identical to what I find myself doing and what I find myself thinking. And I guess saying it out loud, right, is like kind of helps me like understand how I feel about it. It's like, do I not want to be addicted to something on principle? Like, is the fact that I feel like I am losing control, or that I feel like I don't have control over this on principle enough? And like, just to clarify, right now, I didn't smoke like last week or for like 2 weeks, and then I did on Sunday, didn't on Monday, and I did yesterday. And when I do, like, for the last month at least, I'm not smoking a lot. I'm smoking a little bit, like usually later in the day. So it's not like I'm walking around being like a stoner all day long. like I said, I've had like an ounce of weed that's lasted me like 5 months. It's really just the principle of whether I'm in control of something or not. This is the timer. So we've made it. We've made the 15 minutes. I'm going to keep going just a little bit. Yeah, it's really more, I feel like it's more about the principle, but like, should I deprive myself of something just to satisfy some kind of personal principle, especially if I've already proven to myself by like stopping for a couple of months or by stopping for a week or whatever, that I can do it? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know what I want. And I don't know like what my actual goal is. I do know I don't like getting the munchies. So like that maybe is enough. And I know that when I don't smoke for a little bit, I start to feel good about it. But like getting there is difficult. And then after I'm there for a little bit, it starts to seem okay again. So I don't know. Kind of is what it is. I will keep you guys posted on that and other things. Today, it's Thursday. I've done most of the stuff that I need to do for work. Just watching the baby and trying to be present all day is my goal. It's fall and it's beautiful out, so I'm thinking about taking the dog for a hike for my son's 2:00 nap, because we went for a hike yesterday morning and it was absolutely fucking magical. It was incredible. We live in like a really nice part of the Hudson Valley. I guess all the Hudson Valley is really nice, and there's lots of great hikes around us, and there's one that's like pretty like insulated and not a lot of people go there. It's not connected to any larger network of trails. And I love going there. It's 5 minutes away from the house. And I took the dog there yesterday morning rather than going to the gym, and it was incredible. So I'm thinking about doing that again. And what invariably pops in my mind is that it would be nice to smoke a joint while on this walk. So will I do it? Will I not? If I do it, will I regret it? If I don't do it, I don't think I'll regret not doing it. But like, that's what I'm grappling with today. That's kind of what the theme of today is going to be. I guess it's something that's going to probably be on my mind, but I'm going to be doing my best to be present for my son and to be enjoying this time of my life that I know is going to be gone way too quick. Thank you for watching. If you watched, Cello, future Cello, if you're watching this, consistency, good. We're going to do it tomorrow. Okay.